fuck are these? Hey there guys, I'm here to talk about the 1996 film Trainspotting, directed by Danny Boyle, based on the original novel Trainspotting by Irvine Welsh. Trainspotting came out in spring 1996 and I was living in the south of England at that time, and I was aware that this was a controversial Scottish film, so I was very intrigued about the film. I didn't have any idea what the story was about. I just knew it was a bit out there, and it was a clearly adult film, and I was really intrigued to see it. And Trainspotting intrigued me as well. What's it got to do with trains? Is it something to do with Trainspotting? I just hadn't a clue, but I just wanted to see it. So as quite a naive 15-year-old, I went to see it not quite knowing what to expect, and just largely out of curiosity I went to go and check it out and hoped to be entertained. Well, I was not expecting what I saw. It was shocking, it was scary, it was hilarious, violent, exciting, energetic, twisted, tragic, and surprisingly uplifting. Set in Edinburgh in the sort of mid-1980s, Trainspotting, the movie, was filmed largely in Glasgow, with sort of key scenes filmed in Edinburgh for exteriors and some in London as well, but majority of the film was actually filmed in Glasgow, although it's an Edinburgh film. And what was interesting about set in Edinburgh at that time, I was actually living in Edinburgh at the time that the movie was set, the story was set as a kid in the 80s. I lived in Edinburgh at the time as well, so that was of interest to me too. Not just hilarious, violent, scary, twisted, disturbing and uplifting, as I said, it was also very quotable. Like, still to this day I quote from the film and the book all the time, and some of the quotes are some of my best, most favourite lines from films ever. Trainspotting also featured a amazing ensemble cast with some career-defining performances, some of these guys have never quite achieved again, or this really put them on to pass to great things. The likes of Ewan McGregor, Robert Carlyle, Ewan Bremner, Johnny Lee Miller, Kevin McKidd, Peter Mullen, and there was also, I think it was her debut film role, Kelly MacDonald, who starred in No Country for Old Men and Boardwalk Empire. She played a quite sort of disturbing role as a young teenage girl in the film, but it was a memorable role all the same, and she just was just one of these characters adding to a whole host of colourful and crazy characters in this movie. Talking of Robert Carlyle, he plays the sociopath Francis Begbie, and it appeared to me at the time that this rather violent character would inspire a whole host of drunk people all over Scotland and Britain. I just remember I've been even in the company of people who seem to take inspiration from this figure. It's fair enough quoting from the guy and trying to think his character was funny in the movie, but to actually go and display these kind of antics is just bloody ridiculous. And I did know a couple of people who did seem to think they were Francis Begbie, surprisingly. You'd be surprised. Quite the role model, eh? As I said, the book was written by Irvine Welsh, and I don't know if this was the very first cover, but I remember it's one of the original covers, I think. And then here's another one. I've got a few over the years. I just think they're cool covers. It's not like I'm just a total fanboy or nothing. This was another cover, a more recent release. And I was also on this Irvine Welsh omnibus. It featured Trainspotting, The Acid House, Marabout, Stott, Nightmares. Yeah. And another one here has this the movie. Once the movie was released, it was the tie-in with the movie here. Original VHS. I thought that was a cool poster with some of the characters on there. And then of course they released a special edition, the green edition, which had extra deleted scenes and everything on. They used to totally tease us with these special editions, widescreen format and everything back in the day, and when it's some of your favourite films you have to get it, don't you? The green edition includes 9 extra scenes cut from the original film. Underworld's Born Slippy promo video. Talking of that, the soundtrack, the music was also a huge part in this film. And there's the DVD, special edition DVD. The music was also a massive part in this film as well, and a character in itself, and created and featured the likes of Iggy Pop, Underworld, David Bowie, Lou Reed, Pulp, Primal Scream, Sleeper, New Order, Blur. And then talking of Born Slippy, that song from, who's it? Underworld, sorry. That every time you hear that song, it just screams out Trainspotting to you, and it's not Born Slippy from Underworld, it's that song from Trainspotting, that tune from Trainspotting. It's so iconic, and a lot of the great films that you associate with music, that happens, and that's definitely the case with this one. Talking of Irvine Welsh actually played a nice wee tiny cameo as drug dealer Mikey Forrester. Mikey Forrester? Russian sailors? What the fuck is going on? I don't think it's whatever. I don't urge to say that. Can't remember what he said. Oh, I remember when he gave Renton, Ewan McGregor, the pill to put up his arse, and he goes, "Oh, you feel better now, don't you?" He goes, "Aye, for all the good they've done, I may as well shove them up my arse." Okay, whatever, Greig. The film was directed by Danny Boyle, who also directed the brilliant Scottish film Shallow Grave, as well as 28 Days Later, Slumdog Millionaire, The Beach, which was another pretty stylish film, and produced by Andrew MacDonald. It was written for the screen based on the novel from John Hodge, and he was nominated for Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay. And Trainspotting, 20 years old, unbelievable, 1996, now 2016. For me, it just gets better and better. Every time I watch it, I think I love it even more. It's so stylish, and it's great acting, great set pieces, pretty realistic, I'd say. In some sense, it's a fantasy as well, a fantasy in this kind of world, and people talk about it being a glorifying drug abuse, but this is not glorifying drug abuse. If this is a good life, I'm sorry, but it does not look fun. It's the opposite, in fact. It's portraying people that are addicted to drugs and the likes of heroin, and how you can go in that downward spiral, how it can make you paranoid and go into just... I mean, this is not glorifying drug use whatsoever. As I said, my love for this film gets stronger with each viewing. It's a sign of a real modern classic, and Trainspotting is a modern classic. It was recently voted the best Scottish film of all time. It's definitely in my top few, I would say. I think my favourite Scottish film of all time is Gregory's Girl, but I'll talk about that another time. And it was voted in the top 10 British films of all time as well, and it should really be celebrated as a Scottish classic, and it truly is. And this film pulls you in like a ferocious steam train and leaves you gasping for more, pretty much in the same way that like Quadrophenia from 1979 and Martin Scorsese's Mean Streets 1973, to me personally, Trainspotting has that same power and energy, and upon first viewing. There has been ongoing talk a long time about a Trainspotting sequel, and finally last month, May the 16th, I believe filming got underway, and the film is, I don't know if it's going to be called Trainspotting 2 or T2 or whatever, and I don't think it's going to be called Porno, which is based on Irvine Welsh's original novel Porno, and I believe that Porno is set 10 years after the events of Trainspotting. Now we're 20 years, so I don't think maybe they can get away with it, probably. And it's coming from the same director, Danny Boyle, and a bunch of the original cast and characters and more are coming back for the sequel. And I've seen a couple of little clips and teasers, like just clips of them filming, and I must admit I am really excited about this. I just hope they don't try to recreate Trainspotting, but try to create another brilliant cult film. Just put their all into it and get back into character, and just don't think of it as Trainspotting sequel. Think of it as another great film with these great characters and this great people involved. And I for one really can't wait to see it, and I think it'll be brilliant. I'm certainly hoping that. I'm very hopeful of it, that's for sure. Yep, so Trainspotting, 20 years old this year. Unbelievable, isn't it? I was 15 years old when that film came out. Now I'm 35, coming up for 36. Anyways, what does Trainspotting mean to you? I think it's one of the most influential British films of all time, and it's right up there with the very best. It's so brilliant, and I might have to watch it again very soon. And if you've never seen Trainspotting, if you've always been sort of put off by the content perhaps involved, you should check it out. You'll find it's a lot more than about drugs, getting high and junkies and whatever. It's a lot more than that. This film is a coming of age film. It's a comedy, it's a drama, it's romantic, and it's all about friendship as well, and loyalty, and about trying to find your way in this often crazy world, and trying to make a success of yourself when times are hard. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and what does Trainspotting mean to you? Are you looking forward to the sequel? I sure am. I'd like to hear from you and hear what you think. Speak soon, okay? Bye now.